A wonderful afternoon, evening, morning, night to everybody out there. My name is Omolola Festus Adedayo, and I want to welcome you to A Parent's Body Raising Multicultural Children in the Diaspora. We all know that parenting is not written in stone. We all fly the plane as we build it. And on this program, it's a free for all. You are welcome to come and share your opinion and idea. Here in the United States, today is Mother's Day, and I want to say a very happy Mother's Day to all mothers everywhere in the world. I know in Nigeria it was sometimes in March, but here in the United States is May 14th. And so I have something small that I just want to say out there to all mothers. And I want you to know that motherhood is a choice you make every day to put someone else's happiness and well-being ahead of yourself, to teach the hard lessons, to do the right thing even when you're not sure what the right thing is, and to forgive yourself over and over again for doing everything wrong. So again, happy Mother's Day. And I know that, hey, we have no choice but to forgive ourselves. On the show today, we will be talking about something very important, and that is dating, especially in this world these days. Kids as young as 6 will tell you they have a boyfriend. as young as 12 is in a relationship. In quote, I am not alone today on the show. I have a wonderful woman, a beautiful wife, a great mother, and professionally, I can call her a colleague because she's also a social worker. Her name is Barbara Spins, and I just want everybody out there to just say hi to Miss Barbara. Thank you for coming on the show, Barbara.
Hi, thank you, Molola.
You are welcome. You're welcome. Barbara and I was talking before the show, and I just told her, hey, this is a show where we just spill it out as it is because there's no manual in parenting. You agree with me, Barbara?
Yes.
You were talking with me yesterday and you said you have 3 girls.
Yes, I do have 3 girls, but before we go into that, just a correction. I'm recently divorced, so I'm not so.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, congratulations. Yes, you're my colleague. You are my colleague too.
Yes, I am.
I am in the process of,
I'm recently divorced, so
I can't wait
yes.
for that. I can't wait. How does it feel?
Well, everything has its benefits and disadvantages. So let's not put it on one side. But I think the ideal is, marriage is a God's institution, and we all want to be in it. But we also don't want to be where we're not fully appreciated or feel loved and supported. And as a woman, I need to be nurtured. And if that's not that, then I am with the wrong person. So I need to allow God to step me into the right place. But that's not what we're talking about today.
That's not what we're talking about today, yeah. But you made a valid point there that as a woman, we need to be nurtured. And that is very important. Even as parents, we need to nurture and be nurtured. So that will make us dive into our topic for today. We're talking about dating. In your perspective, as a mother, how would you perceive dating with your children, with your girls? I have a girl and a boy, and my girl is 13, and I tell you, she's giving me a run for my money. I'm telling you that right now.
Yes, and I think you're right. I'm a mother of 3 young ladies, and yes, dating is is something. But however, I wouldn't say I've had any problems as yet. But my daughters are at a stage where dating is important and it's necessary. And how do you approach it as a person or as a mother? And for me, one of the things that I've had to come to terms with is understanding that. Sorry, Omo, I think the link is not coming. So I keep getting people sending me. Is there a link that I didn't have?
Yeah, it's the same link I shared with you. Yeah.
But if they go in?
Yeah, they can come in and join and be part of the conversation as well. And as you are sending the link out, I want to welcome Olutoyin Obanyo. Woo, woo, woo. She is a huge fan and a huge supporter of this program. Welcome to the program, Miss T, if I can call you that, Miss T Obanyo. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the program. She's going for a walk. Are you going for a walk? We can't hear you. Are you on a walk?
Yes.
I'm going to do mine afterwards.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, welcome to the program. So we're talking dating for our children. Like, okay, I'm going to go on a personal note now while Barbara is doing that.
Sending the links,
Yeah. I have, like I said, a 13-year-old. She is going to be 14 come November. And one thing I remember when she was 6, and I think I've mentioned it on this show before. When she was 6, I was driving her to school, and I think when she was 6, a younger brother was 1. And at the red light, or before we hit the red light, my daughter was at 6. Mommy, when can I have a boyfriend? I slammed my leg on the brake, my feet on the brake, and I was like what? Like, what? She was at the back seat, and I was like, what? Dating at 6? Boyfriend? What do you know about boyfriend? But I think lucky for me, I had, we've been talking about boys, we've been talking about body parts from when she was 3. Some people may think that is bad parenting, but I think I've been telling them both of my kids, like at a very early age, I teach them about body parts
Yeah.
and we talk about the different sexes. So I don't know if that has anything to do because right now she just me about, oh, I have a crush on this, I have a crush. And I'm like, okay, it's okay to have crush on someone, but where do we draw the line? When do we think, like she asked me, Mommy, when can I start dating? Like
Yeah.
when do you think like it's normal for a girl to start dating?
Well, I mean, I think there's no age. And as you say, if you've been talking to your children about body parts and explaining the reasons for it and why we do this, is then how do you manage it? So if she's now come to ask you at the age of 13 and in your mind you're thinking this is not appropriate or I'm not ready for it, then you need to find out why is she thinking about it? Why does she want to date? Who is in her mind that she's thinking of dating? And then setting the priorities of life for her. That, you know what, dating will come. This is education time. So yes, you can have a friend who is a platonic friend. He's your friend. He doesn't have to be a boyfriend. Because sometimes we think, what I've come to think, when a child is asking about, at the age of 12, starting to discover themselves and they talk about dating, it's actually they're talking about what do I understand about it. They're not thinking the way we're thinking. If my child wants a bra because she's seen her body parts are, changing, it's not because they're asking for it because they want to do what grown-ups want to do. They need somebody to guide them, to understand them. Okay, at this point, you only need a sports bra. When you get bigger, you're going to need something better. And otherwise, sometimes I've seen some of our friends and us as African women will slam it down and say, at this age, you're talking about this? How dare you? That means, oh God, I need to pray. Your mind is going in the wrong way. What we do then is, squash the development of the child. So for me, I have never had an issue with my daughters coming to me. And fortunately for me, as a personal experience, my children, nobody asked me about girlfriend, boyfriend until, when they were about, I think the only one that asked a bit earlier she was even 17.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we talk about it. For me, when you ask me to describe myself and identify myself, I always say my first love is I'm the child of Jesus. And secondly, I'm a lover. I love to love. Yes. So talking about love is nothing different for me. And it's also, I understand the ultimate, point as a believer is you love yourself, you love your neighbor, you love God, you love Christ. So love is everywhere. How do you interpret it? So talking about it to my children, sometimes they actually close their eyes and say, Mom, that's just too much that you're telling me. So, but I do have worries, because worries for young ladies at the moment about dating and actually going for partners. How do we, they're going for partners and we want them to be with responsible gentlemen. I want to have girls so I can talk about gentlemen. How do you assess when your daughter brings home a guy that this person...
That's a good question.
Yeah, the way they speak, are they even going to think about my daughter first?
It's funny you said that, because my daughter, I don't know, I say that what you expose your children to is very important, and the relationship you build with them is also very important. I want to welcome Harriet Agiakwa. I hope I pronounced that very well. I want to welcome Evelyn. I want to welcome Rejoice. I want to welcome you all to the show. And please, if you have questions, you can always speak. It's an open mic. You're welcome to give your contribution. It's a chit chat. It's a parents forum. We're supporting each other here. And like I was saying, my kids go to... For a very long time, my daughter was the only brown-skinned girl in her class. And, other cultures, our culture is very unique and different, And I remember at that time when she said it, I told her Jesus is your boyfriend. Because at that age, she told me, she said, my friends are boyfriends, Mommy. The boys are liking my friends. And, it's curiosity for her.
Mm-hmm.
Last Valentine, no, this February. My son is 8, by the way, is going to be 9 in August. And he got home and he was on his tablet. And I'm going to answer your question, but this
Yeah,
is not even towards it.
yeah.
He was on his tablet and was just playing the game. And I was in the bathroom and he came and he said, I think I was wiping off my makeup. And he came to the bathroom in my room and said, Mommy, I was like, yeah, I love you. I said, yes, I know you love me. He said, I don't have any crush. I said, yes, I know. He said, he kept quiet for a few minutes and then he came back and said, Mommy, I love you too much. I said, yes, I know you love me, but where are we
We
going?
going with this, yeah.
This has to do with knowing your children.
Yeah.
Like, okay, something is bothering him or something is going on.
Yeah.
And he said, nothing. Then they said, can I sleep in your room? I said, nope, you go to your room. Then he said, okay, can I just spend some time with you in your room? I said, fine. Then we were in bed. His sister came and all three of us were in bed. And he was like, hush, hush, Mommy, you know how you be telling me stuff and I'm not paying attention and I just say yes? I said, what did you do? He said, Mommy, it's not so much about what I do, but how I did it. I said, okay. What did you do and how did you do it? He said, mention the girl's name. She asked me if I can be a Val. I was like,
Okay.
oh, okay. And what did you say? He said, I said, yes, without thinking. I said, okay. Then he paused and he said, one more thing. I said, what? He said, I don't have any girlfriend, Mommy. I said, yes, I know you don't have any girlfriend. This is 8-year-old. And then she asked me if I can be her boyfriend. And I wasn't thinking, I just said yes. I was like, then his sister was like, what, Wale? Mommy, see, Wale has a bar. I don't have a bar. So, it's kind of curious for her.
Yeah.
To cut the long story short, he wanted to employ my service to talk to the girl and the girl's mother that I'm not ready to have a girlfriend. I don't even want to have a vow. I wasn't thinking when I said yes. And I told him something. I said, you always tell me you're the man of the house, right? He said, yes. I said, okay, so I want you to go back and tell her. I said, first you have to buy a chocolate and a card to apologize to her and let her understand that I'm giving you this not only as a Valentine gift, but I am apologizing to you that I affirmed to your request without thinking, And he was like, Mommy, I'm too shy. I said, oh, but you were not too shy to say yes. So bringing it back to your question, my daughter made a list. I think I have the list somewhere in one of my very important books I think we made that list when she was 8 or 10. What I want in a man. She will, before now, will always say, oh, I want a man like my daddy. And I will be like, no, you don't want a man like your daddy. And she will ask me why. I say, because the man like your daddy is meant for me, not for you. So I think it's very important because most of the time our girls, especially, even our boys will come and say, oh, I want to marry a man like Mommy. I want to marry a man like daddy. We are forgetting that a man like their father is not the right man for them. He's right for you as your father. So when people come and say, oh, I want a man like my father, I always tell the girls, you can never marry a man like your father.
Because he's not for you. Yeah.
It's not for you.
Yeah.
It's only for your mother.
Yeah. But I think we also have to explore their curiosity, because if at the age of 8, he's got anxieties about a girl saying, can you be my Valentine? Can you be my boyfriend? For me, my question would be, so what do you understand what she means when you are her Valentine? What is it? What does it entail? Because majority of the time, my interpretation of Valentine and a boyfriend is not exactly what they want. And especially for girls, if we stop them, because if we're a group of girls in a classroom and all these other girls are being approached by boys, but nobody's coming near me, If my daughter comes home and tells me that all my friends have boyfriends and nobody wants me, the fact that she feels nobody wants her is a sign of her starting to feel rejected. It's not, I would not say at that time, I don't know, make her feel like, oh, don't worry, it's okay. It is not okay. However, yes, my point then is actually, how do I help my daughter to feel loved, not rejected, and accepted, and also analyze, okay, all these boys that you think they're going for the girls, what do you think it means? What does it mean to you? If a boy comes to you and say, can you be my girlfriend? Will you be able to say yes? And if you say yes, what is it you think they want? And I think those are some of the conversations that we're not having, and we are imposing our understanding on these young children when they come. And therefore, they stop talking to us.
Yes.
They stop talking to us about dating and about relationship. I remember once my middle daughter said to me, Mom, I don't want to talk to you about boyfriend, girlfriend, because sometimes when I talk to you about it, you make me feel there's something wrong with me.
Oh,
yeah. And she was right, because I got into a space when I was thinking, okay, it's nice. I would like for you to have a boyfriend now. Why haven't you got a boyfriend? And then if she comes to tell me about it, I'm quick to say, oh, maybe if you do this, oh, maybe if you do that. But as soon as she said that to me, I realized actually it's not my life, it's hers. And if she's going to have a partner that I will approve of, it has to be a person who accepts her as who she is. Not the one that I've told her to pretend to be.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the man is in the house, or they start dating and her real life comes through, or her real personality comes out, then they're having problems, because she has unintentionally lied to the person. Because I have in my idea that, oh, if you do this, your relationship will be good. However, I tell them, if you find the right person that is for you, they help you be the best of who you are.
Yes.
So let them love you for who you are.
Yeah.
And life is easier. It's the same. And I tell them to relate it to employment. If I'm doing what I love, I prosper. I'm excited. I look forward to going to work. I'm working even when I'm not supposed to be working, because I do what I love. So because of that, my two older children, they do what is naturally coming to them. God has been good. And this, and this has helped. Sorry, I've given it so some people are linking to say the site is full, so they can't join.
Oh, they can join us. Let me quickly put this out there. If you're trying to join and you can't join on the live show, you can join. Just click on Facebook right now. We are live on Facebook, and you can send me your question through Facebook, and you can even join on YouTube, Facebook A Talk with Adrone, and on Aaron's Place on Facebook, and you can watch us live on YouTube. Mother's Burden on YouTube. Just search for Mother's Burden on YouTube. We are live on YouTube, and on Instagram, LOL TV Talk. So if you can join us live, please visit our Facebook page and YouTube, A Talk with Adrone, and Aaron's Place on Facebook, and also watch us live on A Mother's Burden on YouTube. Thank you so much. I appreciate this.
Oh, sorry about that. You asked me to say, I have too many people.
Thank you. Thank you, Barbara. And honestly, you're making a valid point there, because it's so funny, because this is what my daughter and I talk about. Because when I asked her, like, okay, you want a boyfriend, when you think of a boyfriend, what do you think of, and what does it mean for you? Guess what she said? Take a wild guess. Take a wild guess what she said.
Why does she want a boyfriend? So she can be like mom?
No.
Oh, sorry, her friends.
Oh, she said so that he can buy me food.
Mom's not feeding her.
So, I was like, okay, now I get it for her. She's so innocent. Honestly, and that's part of what I think that as parents, we need to really explore our kids' innocence.
Yeah,
And
we
we need
do.
to encourage and nurture that innocence and just be in the dream with them.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, like you said, we don't squash it. Like you're talking about,
No.
I want a boyfriend. Fine. And I said, okay, how would you know if this is the person you even want? I said, number
Yeah.
one, you're 13, you're still in middle school, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to high school, you're going to college,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to grad school. I mean, you're going to meet so many men along the way.
Yeah.
So when you have a boyfriend now, what will happen down the line? You know, because I try to make her see
Yeah.
reason,
Yeah.
you know, and she's always like, yeah, but my friends are having a boyfriend. I said, what does that mean to you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then she will come back and say, oh, mommy, they are not dating anymore, that they are no longer boyfriend. I said, look, you guys, you can crush, you can have as many crush as you want. It's called crush, right?
Right.
Crush
Yeah.
on each other. Yeah,
Yeah.
crush. But when the time comes, even you would know.
Yeah.
And it
And
saddened my heart to see that so many parents encourage their kids at a very tender age
yeah.
to have boyfriends and doing things that they're not supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think is, you hit it on, when you said doing things they're not supposed to be doing. And sometimes we make it so vast. They don't know what is it that you think I should be doing that I'm not doing. And it's also, so for me, not to immediately go to sex, I say to them, if you are with somebody, you've got to think, as well as managing your emotions, you've got to manage that person's emotion. Do you have the space to do that?
Yeah.
And also, when you are with somebody, you are trying to link souls. If you have premarital sex, you have already given you a bit of your soul to that person, and that person doesn't go all the way with you. So, and I cite a scenario to them. I said, that's why sometimes when you meet somebody that is your ex-boyfriend, and in an environment, everybody can tell, because a bit of your soul is with them. So when you're in the same space, it's very difficult. You can pretend all you like. It's difficult to hide. Somebody with a good sight will be able to tell that actually, what do you know? How do you know this person?
Yeah.
You
What's
kind of
going on?
became evasive conversation. So there was a period where I had a group of, I did Sunday school for over 20 years for a particular church. And I was very close to the young adults. And you will have some of them come to you and say, you're always telling us no sex before marriage and But as we're growing up, the desires are there. The feelings are coming. What do we do with them? When I'm with a guy and he's making me feel some kind of way, as a young girl, I also feel it too, because maybe I like him. What am I supposed to do? I said, okay. So that is when I don't say become spiritual, but I want you to have your practical hat on. Okay, in this moment that you're in a cinema and you're going to hide yourself in this dark place that this guy that you're going to be with, you like them. If you're not ready to be with them because they're not married to you, why are you finding yourself in that space with them?
Yes.
If you want to go to the pictures with them, then make sure there's three of you and somebody.
Yes.
That way inclined so much that you feel you're tempted, go and have a cold shower.
Yeah.
Because those things are momentary feeling. But for the longevity of your dignity, your respect, and especially for the girls, as a woman, your prized possession is your thing, your virginity. Once you give it to the wrong person,
that's it.
It's very difficult to bring yourself. When even you come across the right person and then you're feeling guilty that they're not the person that is your number one or your first. So think about it before. I'm not saying, I can't say do or don't do, because the feeling's there and we all have to manage it. But if that person is not the one that is going to be with you for the rest of your life, do you want them to carry a bit of your soul?
And honestly, I know that I have another session where we're going to be talking about sex. But I remember that I was talking with a single girl some times ago, and we were talking. She's a mature single girl, and I said, look, I think in every relationship, it is very important, especially if you are in a relationship now, not dating, because there's a difference
Yeah.
between dating and relationship. And I explained that to my daughter, but I didn't, because we're not talking about
Yeah.
relationship yet. We're still talking about dating. But I just want to digress a little bit. Like, if you think this is going to be serious, like this person, I really like this person, and
It's reciprocal. Yeah.
it's reciprocal, and I know that this person wants to marry me. There's nothing wrong in both of you sitting down and talking about sex in a healthy way,
Yeah.
not practicalizing it to talk
be
about it.
About it. Mercy.
Because a lot of the time, even as adults, sometimes we do some stupid things. I won't come out and say, "Oh, I am holier than thou," or "We never did it, we never did that." We all went through childhood. We all went through being teenagers, being young adults, and even before marriages and all of that. The necking, the pecking, the kiss stealing, and all of that. But the thing is, if we had opportunity to have parents like us, that some of us don't have parents.
Had a conversation with us.
We would do better.
Yeah.
We
So it's very
would not
important.
end up with the men that we ended up with. So it's very important.
Yeah.
I always tell parents, tell your kids about sex, discuss with them. Try to know what they know about it.
Yeah.
And try to, when they come up with dating, because I always tell my daughter, okay, you want to go on a date with a boy, what will happen on the date? I want you to tell me now. What do you think will happen on the date?
Yeah.
I think all my daughter, and I don't know, she doesn't really like food, but everything that comes to her head is food. Oh no, he has to buy me food, he has to buy me flowers.
Because she hears about going for dates is going for a meal. So I think, I think that's where, and to be honest, for me as a mother, it's a bit scary to watch your daughter grow up and then think, oh my gosh, she's got to that age, she's now going to want to date. And what are those anxieties? And what do we do with the anxieties? Is it because we don't want them to grow up, or we want them to have the perfect life that we don't have? I mean, that's been the dilemma for me. I'm looking at my daughters, and I want you to go out there. I want you to see, when I was growing up, I had more boyfriends than I did girls.
I did too.
I have more boyfriends than I did girls. So sometimes I didn't get into trouble. Boys got into trouble being around me. And I think, unless we're not even going there. But I think, so when I think about that and I see my daughters, and I have also got young guys that I engage with. And the modern day young person, these guys, I'm not seeing their understanding of, for me to be a good standing in society, I need to have a structured life, and that includes having the right partner, being in the right place, and
that is
wanting to, and there is no sense of responsibility, including the type of girl or the type of woman I marry. So it makes it very difficult for the young ladies trying to actually, as much as to hold on so much. A lot of the time they're being blackmailed with the need for the guy's needs and the desires. And if you're not doing this for me, then I'm not going to be with you. And like we said,
go on.
Yeah, like your daughter saying, oh, my friends all have boyfriends and I don't. So the young girl now gets pushed into a corner. If I'm not doing what he wants, then I'm also, very soon everybody will know that I don't have a boyfriend anymore, or nobody wants me. So,
it's so funny you saying that, because it's like you're in our house when that is happening.
It's establishment of identity. When I went to uni to do my social work degree, I think at the end of it, with my dissertation, is that one of the things my tutor said to me is, if there's anybody who knows their identity, it's you. When you need me to turn on my African head, you will see
I do. Yeah.
When you need me, when I want to come to you as a British woman, you will see it. When I'm with you and I'm letting you know that I'm a God-fearing woman, you don't need to ask, because I flow with love.
Yes.
And you don't have to do anything for me to do for you.
Yes.
So for me, if you can't see that as a seed from Christ, I don't have to tell you. So I think once we are able to assist our young ones to understand that your identity first before the partner, then as a mother, I'm okay. I have 3 strong women, and I'm not worried, married or not married, because for me, if you yourself are in the right place and you're strong, let the man see you as a value.
Yeah.
The problem is our young men these days are not seeing what is valuable.
You know, it's funny because at church today, the preacher was talking about the way we're raising our children.
Yeah.
You know, like some parents still raising their children like their grandparents raised them. Like raising boys to believe that you only have to be the provider, and raising girls to believe that you only have to take care of the home.
Yeah.
But these days, you know, society is advancing. It is changing. And I'm going to borrow his word. The manual changed on us,
Yeah.
and we didn't get it. So we need to get it. We really need to get it. Again, before we go on, I want to say thank you so much for everyone joining us. Please leave your comments, reactions, and we will appreciate if you will like our page on Facebook, A Talk with Adunni, Aaron's Place. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's A Mother's Burden on YouTube. We will really love for you to join us. We have A Mother's Burden every second Sunday of the month. I quickly want to put that out there. And again, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to every parent on the show, not only mothers, because I said this show is not only for mothers. Fathers also learn from this show. So as we were saying, it is high time, because, and I tell my 8-year-old that as well, I am not raising you to be just a provider. I am raising you to also be a father, a friend. Be a friend first, then a husband, then a father that knows what he is worth, that loves and cherishes. And I told him every time, the way you treat your mom and your sister, determine the way you treat your wife or your girlfriend when it's time for you to have one. Because you have to treat her right. If you yell at your sister, that's the way you yell at your girlfriend or your wife. You know, and I asked him, do you like it when people do that to you? He said, no. And these days he will come and say, if my parents are, they're visiting and they're with me, if they're watching a movie, Nigerian movie, and maybe a man is yelling at the woman or hitting the woman, he will come and tell me like, Mommy, men are not supposed to be eating women. Why are they yelling on the women? Why are they shouting on the women? You know, and I said, well, they're just showing you things that happen and not to do it. And you'll be like, oh, okay. You know, so we have to teach our children.
Yes, it starts from there.
Yeah, and the boys, they have to get to a place where I tell my son, before you will tell me you want to go on a date with a girl, you need to have money in your wallet.
Yeah.
You don't come to ask me for money. That to me shows that you're ready to date. If you don't have money and you want to go on a date, you're not a serious man. And that shows the kind of man you'll be when you grow up. And I tell my daughter, you need to discover yourself first. What do you know about yourself? And please, I want to put this out there. If you're in the studio and you want to join, please let us know, make comments. You can signify, we'll let you, we'll bring you up live so that you can contribute to this. We really would like to hear your part of it. And if you have children that are already dating, we want to know how it started. It's so interesting to know. Because like I said, I have a 13-year-old that is always asking me, when can I start dating? You know, and like you said, there is no set age for it. But
there
not
isn't.
Teenagers, not for teenagers. Yeah, you can have platonic friends. And I don't know do people really use platonic friends these days?
Well, they do. And I think this is where we go wrong, because we think sometimes when we see a young person and so that's my boyfriend, we like that we automatically assume they know they're having a sexual relationship. No, that's why I believe, okay, so what is it? What does this boyfriend girlfriend mean? What are you guys up to? What do you get into? Oh, he's my study mate. At the same time, a boy from the age of 12 is hormonal. So okay, they might not think they're going to be something, but if at that age, if you're my daughter at the age of 13, 14, and that is your boyfriend, my goal is you're not keeping yourself into exclusive zones that is going to bring you into a situation that you're not mature enough to deal with. That I would deal with point blank. And I think one of my daughters, when they started dating, I didn't know. So
she hid it from you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't know she was doing it. And then her phone bill came.
Oh wow.
Her mobile phone bill. And that
wow.
Her bill, that is normally £30. We had 150, 180 pounds. So of course her dad says, excuse me, what's your daughter been doing? I said, what do you mean, what's my daughter? She will not be wasting her phone. She hasn't got time for phone calls. Why would she? She's doing international baccalaureate. She's very busy. Why would she be? There's no space. So of course I said, oh, don't worry. You put the phone down, I'll ask her. And then he said to me, I've looked on it. There's a particular number, and this is the number that it goes to all the time. So I said, okay, then there's evidence. So I called her and I said, what's going on? Your phone bill is 180 pounds. You've never had that before. So what's happening? Whose is this number? So she said, what number? I gave it to her. She goes, oh, he's my boyfriend. I said, okay.
With an attitude.
Yes, because she knows I'm going to say, why haven't you told me? Says, okay. I said, you're 17. So I'm not going to say, don't have a boyfriend, but why is it that we haven't discussed it, or you haven't even told me that? But anyway, that was another level of conversation. So I think it's also understanding, like you were talking about the money part of a boy taking a girl out. On the first date, I would always say to girls, don't go sharing. Let's share the cost thing. No. If you have been bold enough to say, you know, I'm taking you out on a date, make sure you have sufficient money. If on that day, the only thing you can buy is a burger, don't be planning to take me to a restaurant that does more than a burger. So if I choose, then you're asking me to pay. Because if you are serious and care about me and you can't pay for the first meal,
then I'm going to
be sharing for the rest of my life. And that doesn't bode well. You need to be ready as a gentleman to actually take a girl out and pay for it. And for me to say, oh, it's your birthday, it's special, I'm taking you out. And then I can do. So it's actually, and then they say, oh, it doesn't happen like that, because if I don't pay, some of the girls have told me, if I don't pay or share with them, then, you know, I feel that I've got to do everything they want. And I said, no, it means that relationship is on the wrong footing.
And I think just to interject there is letting our girls know their worth. And our boys as well, because there are some girls that will intimidate a boy to do what he does not want to do, not expected to do. And honestly, that's why I always say, I tell people say, oh, you're a strong woman. When I talk about my daughter, that's where she got her self-confidence from. And I tell them, yes, I know I am very assertive and I have very high self-esteem, but I don't know where she got hers from, because she will tell me, if the guy likes me, fine. If he doesn't, it's lost money. That's what she will do. And I am really proud of her with that. I am so proud about her with that, you know, that she knows who she is. And I remember we had a conversation, especially when she started a menstrual period. She is like, Mommy, this is horrible. I said, hey, baby, unfortunately, that's what makes you a woman. And then, you know, I had to take her through all that again. And we talked about menopause and all of that again. And, you know, she is like, and I said, if you are not dating and you have this mood, what do you think will happen when you start dating and the guy is adding his stress on you? And she's like, Mommy, you're right, I'm not ready. You know, so we need to let our kids, you know, develop their inner strength.
Yeah.
And I tell my daughter every morning, you are beautiful. And I kid you not, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
People don't know she's my daughter. Like, where did you get her from? She's gorgeous. I have to say that, you know. But being gorgeous is a different thing. Being led by your look is a different thing, because that's something, again, girls are doing.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's where we need to really stand up and show them the inner person. The inner qualities should match your facial beauty or exceed it. Because some of these things that we feed into our conscious and subconscious is what brings out. And then we make these decisions. I always say it's okay to do these things or to try these things. What you must understand is these are seeds that you're sowing in your life. So a few years down the line, they are going to show. They are going to appear. They will spring up like a tree. And they've so got deep roots. So therefore, everything you're doing today, think about it. Make sure, actually, yes, this is what I want. And I believe that in any moment, what we're doing, we believe is the right thing. If you've thought through it, if you analyze it, and like your son said, I actually said yes without thinking about it. If I thought about it, I wouldn't have said yes, because I don't really know what is involved. And I don't really know if I'm ready for all of that. You know, and some of the decisions are made because what is so difficult for teenagers that there's so much emotions and thoughts and feelings going on within them.
Is it the food we're feeding them these days?
No, that's how God made them. That's the nature of puberty. That is the nature of puberty. So they're tired, they're sleepy, they're stressful, they're emotional, they need some feeding of self-confidence. Because all of this that is going through their body, and then if they have a parent who can't see that, and it's like, why are you always sleeping? Why are you doing that? I asked you to do this, you haven't done it. We are not allowing our children to be actually go on the journey. And I think we should also relate it back to how we were treated. And if we remember where we were as teenagers, how did we feel? What were we doing? What was going through our mind? Did we get the right support? What were we looking for? You know,
and it's so unfortunate because most of the time I don't know about Ghanaian. Ghanaians, but you know, I can categorically speak that most Nigerian parents growing up, you dare not.
We are called a child is seen but not heard.
Thank you.
That was the principle when we were growing up, and especially if you come from a
very strict family,
a family that is strict and a little bit well-to-do. When daddy's car pulls up the drive, you'll probably running. Don't be sick.
It's funny, but in my house, when we hear mommy's voice, we are all under the bed. You know, I always say my daddy was in the military. I want to say thank you so much, She Breast. Much love. We love you too. Thank you. And please comment, subscribe to A Mother's Burden on YouTube. Like our page, A Talk with Aduni and Aaron's Place. That's where we feature. And you can catch our recorded shows and program on A Mother's Body and even on our Facebook page, A Talk with Aduni and Aaron's Place. I was going to say something that I always say that
we're talking about the parents. You know?
My father was a military person. You would think he was the one we would be hiding away from.
Oh, but he's lying.
It was the opposite. My mom, you hear a footstep, you better adjust yourself.
Well, daddy's not there. She has to run the home. That's one of the things we didn't understand. Daddy's not there. She has to be the strategic officer in the home.
Yes.
So
she has to be the RSM, residential staff manager.
Who's sergeant major. And so I think we are in an environment that all those restrictions are less. However, we also sometimes have, shall I say, some of our country colleagues who are still of the old way. And my mom did not allow me to do that. How can I? I remember there was one incident when a friend of mine, her daughter was graduating from school, you know, from secondary school or sixth form, and all her friends are contributing and getting a limousine so that they can go to the graduation ball. And mom said, well, I never sat on a limousine, so I'm not paying for you to sit in a limousine, which is too expensive. It is where she came from. I mean, fortunately, the girl called me, so I had a conversation, and then I said to her, "If you're not paying, I'm going to pay for her." So obviously, she now changed her mind. She said, "Well, I don't want her to get used to what we don't have." And I said, "But you see, one
But
of the
then we
things
don't have it. Now
Yeah.
we have it.
yeah." And I said, "What you didn't have, you want your daughter to have double." And what we must understand is education
Yes.
is the equalizer of society.
It is.
So if your child is going studying, doing the things that you didn't do, you didn't have the opportunity to do, you've got to believe that potential is there to get for her to get ahead. And you know, those are some of the things that makes the daughter will go for anybody. Any guy who goes out there and say, "Oh, you know, that £200 that you need for the limousine, don't worry,
I'm gonna give it to you.
I'm
yes.
going to give it to you. Let's go out."
Mm.
Why do you think she will not do it? So some of these things that we do, we're not talking about relationships, we're not talking about dating, but because we're doing it, what happens is it feeds into the sort of dating and relationships that our children go for.
Yes.
And if we're not careful, we are giving them information that we are, you know, subconsciously not aware.
Mm.
So I think it's very important that as mothers, you know, today is Mothering Sunday all over the world. It's just UK that we're special. So we had ours in March.
Oh, you did? I think
Yeah.
Nigerian too had theirs in March. Yeah.
So I think, but as mothers, it's for me, the nurturing, the upbringing is our duty. And then the father is the one structuring the home, and he's the head and
Yes.
putting the rules in. But nurture your children. Let them feel that there is love. Because if a child is loved, then the person that they date or they go out to, they will expect love from them.
Yes.
They will expect love from them. Otherwise, they go to them feeling they need to be the one who's the duty, coming to wash the dishes, doing the washing. Because at home, that's what you're getting her to do. Yeah. There is no love. So we need to love them for them to expect love and be loved.
And I think, I'm sorry, I do not mean to cut you short. I think it's very important for us to understand our children's love language.
Very.
And like you said, the father put the structure in the home, but sometimes the father is the one that even destabilizes the structure of the home.
Yeah.
And it's so unfortunate. I usually don't go into research or what research is proven, but as a social worker, you know and you understand that the man in the house is the first lover that the girl is seeing. And it is how that father treats the girl. That is what it's just automatic. It's just psychologically she is inclined to men that will treat them that way. But what makes the difference is if you're able to pray for your child.
Prayer.
Honestly, Barbara, I really enjoyed this chat with you. Time is not on our side, but definitely next month. We do this once in a month. Some people said, "Oh, Lola, it should be more than once in a month." I said, "Yes, I know it should be more than once a month, but we have to put some things in place."
We have other things in place.
Yes. So we're doing this once a month for now. And I am starting a new program, and Barbara, you are going to be on that program. You have no choice. It is Single Again with LFA. I am starting that very soon, and
just because I told you I'm single again.
I am single again too. And I tell you,
so what do we do to get it right next time?
Yes, you know? I am putting Ogochukwu out there because Ogochukwu is the one.
Christ, though. I said this burden is for Christ.
Yes. Ogochukwu is the one that's telling me, Omolola, wait. I'm like, no, oh God, no, I have to go on now. You know, so I'm just putting this out there, you know. Barbara, I want to say thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
We have a few more minutes to go. Before you go this month, we're coming back next month. One word. You know, we've not reached the relationship part. And we are not even done with the dating because that is so broad. You know, and I want to say out there, please send in your comments, your questions. Thank you so much, Gloria. Thank you, Harriet. Thank you, AA. Thank you, Rejoice, Marvis. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining. Evelyn, Ewere, and everyone that joined on Facebook, on YouTube, on Aaron's Place, or a talk with Aduni. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. This is a very interesting topic. This is how we roll here on A Mother's Body. you know. And Barbara, before we round up,
Yes.
one word, just a word of advice until we meet next week, next month.
Mothers, love your children for who they are, so their partners will love them for who they are.
Yeah, that's very important. Love them for who they are. Accept them, no matter what their shortcomings are.
Yeah.
Accept them and embrace that inner strength that they have. Help them to nurture it, because a child is like, it's like you're planting a bush garden or a flower garden, and if you don't weed and trim and water, it will grow wild without direction, you know. And that's what happened. That's why a lot of our girls, we wonder, where did they go wrong?
Yeah. Yes. And where did we go wrong?
Where did we go wrong? Yes. And I always, when my child comes home and she is moody, I'm always asking myself, what happened? Is she okay? Did I do something wrong?
No, she's a teenager.
She's a teenager. Yes, I know. But you know, I think it's just me. I just
don't overstress. Allow. All those things are part of it. They need to, and then just make room for her to walk.
That's what I'm doing now. I'm making room for her to fit in and to grow and to bloom and to discover herself. So parents out there, remember, we all fly this plane as we build it.
Yes.
Nobody came with a manual. Nope, the kids did not come with a manual when they were coming, you know. And I always say something, we can never raise our children the way our parents raised us. This generation is way different.
Way different.
It's way different. I was talking with a friend and he said something, he's in his late 40s, and he said something, he said, Lola, do you realize that dating these days is different? He's also single again.
Yeah.
He said, because men of my generation cannot date girls that are 30 because they are different.
They're very different.
Huge. So we have to go with their flow and try to nurture them and make them bloom. So, final note, parents, remember, whatever you're doing, learn to forgive yourself over and over again for doing everything wrong, because we will all get it wrong before we start saying, okay, this works, this doesn't work. This works, this doesn't work. So from me and Barbara, I want to say thank you so much, everyone, for joining again. This is the Mother's Burden with Omolola. My name is Omolola Festus Adedayo. I hope to see you here same time next month, and it's going to be the second Sunday in June. Barbara will be here, and so thank you so much, Evelyn. Thank you. It was a very enjoyable discussion. Yes, I know. Barbara will come back to join us next month, and we're cooking something in the pot. I already let the cat out, and that is Single Again with LFA, and of course Barbara will be on that show with me as well.
Thank you, Bella, for having me.
I put you out there, Barbara.
Yes,
so be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for that. And until I see you same time next month, please remember, forgive yourself. Keep doing it wrong. We'll get it right one day.
That's the only way to go.
Yes. Until then, bye, everyone.
Bye, ladies. Take care.
Thank you so much, Barbara.
Oh, no problem. Thank you. See you next time.
Yeah, bye.